Hi, my name is Kristy Weissling, and I am your SLP Advisory Council member for Speech Language Pathology. And I've been asked to do a little presentation on our recent visit to Washington, D.C. in the National Office of ASHA. And Sherry Jones, who is our Audiology Advisory Council representative, joined me. And March 2nd through 5th, we went to Washington, D.C. and to the ASHA National Office and visited around some issues that are important to the association that I'd like to make you aware of. So first of all, we spent some time preparing to go to Capitol Hill to advocate for a few issues that ASHA is moving forward as legislative agenda for the association. And so I have some notes here. I'd like to talk to you a little bit about 4 issues that ASHA asked us to discuss with our legislators. Sherry and I met with Deb Fisher. We left packets with Ben Sass and with Representative Fortenberry. So the first area that we wanted to advocate for, that ASHA asked us to advocate for, was the idea of unbundling speech language pathology and physical therapy in terms of utilization thresholds. So while speech language pathology and physical therapy and occupational therapy no longer have a cap, so to speak, we do have utilization thresholds. And the utilization threshold for speech language pathology is still tied to physical therapy because of that famous missing comma that you may have heard about. So we did talk to legislators and present information to them about advocating for getting that utilization in line with our occupational therapy counterparts. Next, we advocated for comprehensive services for audiology services. And we were specifically looking to have audiologists recognized as independent practitioners who can provide treatment and diagnostic services under Medicare. And that is important to help individuals get access to audiology services who need it, who might be beneficiaries of Medicare. The third issue was around IDEA funding. So originally, under the IDEA statute, federal funding should represent about 40% of IDEA funding, and it's currently funded at about 17%. And so we advocated for there not being a cut to IDEA funding and asked that, in fact, we increase IDEA funding and try to get closer to the threshold that was in the original IDEA statute. And lastly, we advocated for the early hearing detection programs. They require annual funding, and so we wanted to fully fund the EDI projects through the Labor and Health and Human Services appropriations process. And so we were asking for the early hearing detection to be funded for this fiscal year. So those were the 4 items that ASHA set forward for us to advocate for, and which Sherry and I did our best to do. The rest of the time that we were at ASHA, we were asked to be advisory to ASHA around some of the things that they are considering. So I want to bring your attention to the fact that ASHA is looking at restructuring the board of directors. So they would like to go to a non-elected president, but rather a president that is appointed from the board of directors, which is elected, and some other changes to that process. That's going to be brought to the membership soon. And so I would, and Sherry would join me in this, ask you to keep an eye on that issue, to read about it, to educate yourself about it so that you can vote on that issue. There also was a recommendation that they sunset the advisory council, which is the council that Sherry and I are on, and that is made up of 1 SLP and 1 audiology representative from every state, a foreign country, and U.S. territories. And every year that advisory council is brought to ASHA, and our charge is to be advisory to the board, and they are recommending the sunsetting of that. We gave them quite a bit of feedback on that idea. So we don't know what the final proposal will be. but that is also something that's going to be brought to the membership that you want to be aware of and thinking about. It was something that I didn't realize that I learned during this visit is that only about 5% of the ASHA membership votes. And that really made me think that one of the things that I want to bring to you is the idea that I would love to see every speech language pathologist who's an ASHA member in the state of Nebraska exercising their right to vote and exercising their right to have input about what the professional organization is doing and how the profession will move forward. So I'm going to encourage you all to be sure this year that you exercise your right to vote as an ASHA member. Lastly, we were asked to advise on some issues around education of students. We were asked to define what it means to be competent, because we have these ASHA competencies. So we had conversations on that, as well as what the profession might look like in terms of educational programming in the future. What might other models of education look like? And this is just simply exploratory at this point, but we gave our opinions and advised on those different issues that were brought to us, and it was a very interesting conversation. I think one of the things that I enjoyed most about this time at the ASHA office was getting to see the ASHA office, getting to interact with the board, and getting to interact with colleagues from all over the country and to hear what's going on in Louisiana, in Wyoming, in Iowa, and to have the chance to sit and chat about the challenges we all face as well as the triumphs that we've all been able to accomplish. And I think that was just a wonderful experience, and I truly enjoyed getting to know so many different people. So in conclusion, I hope that you will join NSLHA and ASHA in advocating on the local and regional and national levels for our professions, and most of all for those people that we serve, because that's really why we went into these professions and why we are interested in advocating not only for our own livelihoods, but also, and for me, more importantly, for the people that we see and the people that we serve. So thank you for the opportunity to represent you in Washington, D.C. and at the ASHA National Office. And if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me, and I'd be happy to talk to you.